talk about our thoughts, though, before we get into the nitty-gritty details of his lucrative contract. That man is getting paid. He got the bag. But anyways, I was ecstatic. I was not having the best day. I was exhausted. But as soon as that news broke out, I was just all over the timeline, reading everything, probably for like another 2 hours. And I do not, I mean, the only time I remember Pistons Twitter just getting that excited was when Ben Wallace put his finger up for the number 1 overall draft for Cunningham. Like that was just it was so crazy. The energy, you could feel it on Twitter and social media when that happened. You could feel the same way with Monty Williams. There was hardly a negative tweet on there. There were a few, but people were just so excited for Monty Williams. But what were your thoughts when the news broke?
Relieved. I don't know if I could do another podcast talking about coaching candidates. I feel like we spent way more time on coaching candidates than the draft, and the draft's in like maybe 2.5 weeks. I'm definitely happy that we got an established coach. Not to say that the other candidates weren't qualified to be it. I just, as a Piston fan, it's this kind of a sigh of relief that you get a guy that was, in my opinion, the best available coach on the market. No disrespect to Doc Rivers or Mike Budenholzer. I just think they got the right guy, and I'm happy that we got him. And it did cost a little bit, but I think in the long term it'll be worth it.
Oh, I do too. I mean, again, like this is a guy, we talked about it, you said, for like 5 straight podcasts of coaching candidates. You can go look down on YouTube or on Spotify, Google, wherever you listen to the podcast, and you will see all the titles. It's like, who's going to be the coach? Pistons this, Pistons that, coach. Yeah, it's crazy, but dude, he's a culture starter, man. I mean, he turned the Phoenix Suns from a laughingstock in the NBA to legit contenders. He helped develop guys like Devin Booker, Cameron Payne, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, DeAndre Ayton. He's just a fantastic coach, man. Like, you cannot be – this is like winning the lottery again, I feel like. You know, after slipping as far as we did, this was the best news we could have possibly gotten. And it's Monty Williams, the best available coach, a top 8, top 10 coach in the NBA right now, is going to be coaching in Detroit. He's going to establish that culture. He's going to bring some good young assistants with him. So who knows? Like, after he's gone, someone else will replace him, and the potential dynasty continues. I don't know. But Monty Williams, that was just an incredible hire for me. And I mean, I don't want to say it, but like, I'm just as excited for Monty Williams as I was for Larry Brown when he was hired as the Detroit Pistons head coach that many years ago.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I do think he's got a core that he can build around with Ivy, Cade, and Duran, and you got a top 5 draft pick, possibly $40 million in cap space, depending on what you do with players on the current roster. But I mean, the future is bright for this team, and I feel like he did it in New Orleans, he did it in Phoenix. Hopefully he can do it in Detroit. I'm very hopeful. I'm very happy that we have a guy that I believe is more offensive driven, and we won't have so many isolations that we did last year where I'm taking a bathroom break when I see the subs come in, because I know it's just going to be ISOs. I'm really happy. I think all Pistons fans are happy too, just to get a guy that is established, a guy that's been to the NBA Finals. And not only that, he's just a guy that can really teach these, young kids how to be professionals and how to, act on and off the court. And I'm so happy that we actually got him. Like I said, I'm kind of at a loss for words that it even happened, because, all the reports came out that like, yeah, they offered him something, he rejected it. And we're kind of selling ourselves, unlike Charles Lee. Yeah. But I'm so happy it happened.
You know what's great, though? We were the first – I don't know if we were actually the first podcast, but I just know that we were – I'm going to go ahead and say it. We were talking about how great this destination was. At least I was. I was talking it up big time the last 2 weeks. And then as soon as the Pistons sign Monty Williams to that contract, you got guys like Bobby Marks thrown out. Pistons got a young core, a lot of flexibility in the, for free agency. They got 2 veterans like Bojan and Alec Burks that are great players that you could trade. You know, they got a lot of great things going from. Like, where was this just a few weeks ago? Nobody was talking about the Detroit Pistons as a great destination for a coach. But as soon as Monty Williams signs his name to that contract, people are like, whoa, we need to wake up. Look at the Detroit. They got 3 great young players, then Isaiah Stewart. It's an incredible young core. As long as they all stay healthy and they continue to develop, it's a great situation for any coach. I'm just glad that people are finally recognizing that, because we were talking about it for, like I said, the last 2 weeks on this podcast, how great this destination would be for any coach. But